So real quickly, I really focused on the third Madison Square Garden, and part of the reason for that was its location in 50th and 8th. I worked along with Anthony, who worked with me right across the street from it. I never had an idea that. What's that?
50th, really?
50th and 8th. 29th to 50th was the block it sat on. We worked right there, and I never had an idea that Madison Square Garden once sat there. Originally, it was built in 1925. There were a couple of first events, biking, which was more popular in the arenas at the time. The first official event was a hockey game, not with the Rangers, and I'll explain to that in a second. It was actually the New York Americans, which were the first hockey team. And for those who care, and I don't know if that many of you are hockey fans, but they call the first, there's about 30 hockey teams right now. They say the original 6, and the poor Americans get left out. They were the original 6, not the Rangers, who were really the 7th team. The next year, the Rangers were initiated by Tex Richard, who saw how popular the Americans were, and said, I got to make a hockey team for myself. His Rangers go on to become a popular team. They win 3 Stanley Cups. Not that many people are paying attention to the Americans. And in 1942, they went on a leave of absence because they didn't have enough players for the war. At the end of the war, they came back and wanted to reestablish the team, and Tex said, sorry, we don't need you anymore. And it's believed that his refusal to allow them to continue to play was the establishment for the curse that affected the Rangers. They wouldn't win another Stanley Cup after winning the first 3 in about 10 years until 1994. This is another couple of shots of Madison Square Garden. This is the basketball configuration. This is what it looked like for tennis. Probably the most famous event that they have gone on in the building is Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday to JFK in 1963. And this is basically what it looked like today. Now, I don't know if Worldwide Plaza sat there. I don't know when Worldwide Plaza went up. I have to look into this.
Very recently.
Very recently.
Like within the last decade.
Okay.
PBS did a whole special about the building. Like, that was an empty lot for so long.
I thought
You could park on it.
that there was in the front. There may have been like I couldn't find a photo from the mid 80s or 90s of that section of the street, and I want to find
There's a PBS special called Skyscraper. That's all about the building.
all about the Worldwide Plaza.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen the one, but you're right. Okay, so basically, Madison Square Garden is in the around 1963 to 1960, the mid 60s, is moved to where Penn Station is. On top of course, Penn Station was there. So a couple of real fast photos of Penn Station as it was originally being built. This is looking towards 7th Avenue. The 7th Avenue is down here. This is an indoor shot. You can see I like this one because you can see the track numbers. This is one of my favorite photos. This is 7th Avenue. This is 31st Street. Basically, if you go into Penn Station, this is probably a common way. I assume some of the people in this photo are going into Penn Station. And I know I've crossed the street many times when I get off at Penn Station in Manhattan. I just thought it was interesting to see people walking, not all that differently than we would today. This is the same shot today. Over here is the Southgate Hotel. And the building here, you can see, is still standing in the photo today. We had a couple of other Penn Station shots, and I never went in the station, but you can get a sense that it had a beautiful glass ceiling. Obviously, it was built at a time when trains were the major transportation if you went anywhere in the country, so ridership was probably a lot higher than it became. And I think one of the reasons the owners felt they had a reason to try to downsize the station was the lack of ridership. Obviously, what happens is the station was destroyed to make way for the Madison Square Garden, which was moved over to that area. I'm not going to get too far into this, but it became a rallying cry for landmark preservation when the station was destroyed. But what particularly appealed to me were the eagles that are on the facade outside. If you look up here, you can see the eagles on the outside. I wanted to figure out exactly what was on the outside in terms of the count of eagles. And also, they were taken down and they were preserved. And they moved off to different places in the country. So this is the actual removal of the eagles. And this is a construction in the Penn Station area, and then I'm going to go through where the 22 Eagles, 22? 22. There was 6 on each side except for 8th Avenue, which had only 4. And the 2 on the outside were the biggest ones. There were 14 of those. By sides, they go 4, 4, 4, and 2. And then there were another smaller 2 on each side, so we were total 8 smaller eagles. And what happened was the Pennsylvania Railroad Company basically put them aside, and to whoever sent them a more appealing enough request for them was where they sent them off to. So Eagle 1 and Eagle 2 sit right in front of the new Penn Station. By the way, I should give credit. Dave Morrison has some information. It's not fair that I represent without saying a lot of this is a lot of his work. I think I elaborated on it a bit, but a lot of this is his work. So we have Eagle 1, Eagle 2. Eagle 3 was brought back to Cooper Union, the designer of the Eagles himself. Went to school there, so in honor of him, they brought the Eagle back there. That's the only other Eagle besides the 2 sitting in front of Penn Station that sit in Manhattan. Eagles 4 and 5 were brought to the Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point. Eagles 6, 7, and 8 and 9 are on Market Street. They have a train station there. I guess some people think that the Penn Railroad Company got hoodwinked into bringing them down there. Eagle 10 is in Hicksville because
At the train station?
What's that?
At the train station?
At the train station.
Oh, wow.
I think it's right around where you drive.
Yeah,
through.
it's where you meet to get picked up.
No, you can't miss it. Grew up there because a Latin teacher at Hicksville High School thought it would be a great reminder of Latin culture, or Roman culture. Not because of anything to do with the fact that Penn Station was a beautiful thing, nice to preserve some part of it. Eagle 11 is at the Valley Forge in Pennsylvania. Eagle 12 is at the Smithsonian. Eagle 13 is at a college in Virginia. Eagle 14 is in Middlehaven, Maine. This is the only eagle that got off the mainland, because Middlehaven is actually an island. Officially brought there because the granite for Penn Station was believed to have been quarried in Middlehaven. Unfortunately, the eagles are marble, so it doesn't quite make sense. And later they found out that the granite was actually quarried not in this town, but in a town, Milford, Massachusetts. But there was quarrying that went on here, so it's still nice to have something to honor it. Eagles 15 and 16 were in Ringwood, New Jersey. And then Eagles 17 and 18, in what is the nicest publicly preserved, went to Kansas City in honor of Eagle Scouts. So I guess they thought, the word eagle makes sense. I'm not sure I can see the connection, but nevertheless, they have the eagle badge on front.
Is that the whole clock? Is that the clock as well, around?
It's the whole, this is the only place I think that exists, the whole piece. So they've got the 2 small side eagles. These 2 lady statues, one called maidens generally. One's the night maiden and one's the day maiden. And the night maiden has the little blanket over her head. The day maiden is looking out over the blanket, and it would have been over the clock. And it's supposed to be representative of the fact that the train station never sleeps. So that was the methodology behind it. There is one night maiden that makes the Berkun Museum of Art. So if we take the original thinking of the station, there should be 4 day maidens and 4 night maidens. And I didn't want to get too far into it, but most of them have been tracked down. Speaking of tracking down, I was scouring around, and it looks like at a landfill in Piscataway, or I think it's Piscataway, they found these 2 eagles about 25 years after the fact, and they have been restored. I've been writing to the Landmarks Studio website to try to find out where they are, if anyone wants to go see them. I think these guys still have them.